Hey, this is Matt. I'm super excited today to be in South Lake Union with Brian Trussell and Steve Miller, the co-founders of Glympse. And we're going to have a little chat with them today and talk about the company. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is Glympse?
Go ahead, Steve.
Glympse is location sharing made simple. So it's time-based, real-time location sharing between individuals. We let you share email, SMS, Facebook, socials you want to be.
Okay, and if you've never used Glympse, it's pretty cool. You can download the app and you can actually see a person traveling in real time on the map. It includes ETA, miles per hour.
If you want.
If you want, and it's platform agnostic, right? So pretty much you can download it without even having to be a user.
Yeah, you can download on iPhone, Android. We have a Windows version also, Windows Phone version. And so if you download the app, you can send a Glimpse to anybody, and then they'll be able to, even without the app or without anything signed up, they'll be able to see your real-time movement. But like Steve said, the key part is it's for a set period of time. So if I need my wife or my colleague or a business associate to know where I am for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, I give them that real-time movement, and then it's done. And so there's no kind of privacy issues, and it's very simple to use.
Cool. Yeah, I can really see. I use it myself when I'm going to pick up people and letting them know how long it's going to take for me to get there.
Yeah, it's a common scenario.
Yeah. So Glimpse has been in the news recently a lot with some partnerships. In fact, today is pretty big media going around with the first GoGo in-flight airplane ride being used with Glimpse.
About an hour ago, I think the first one went out.
Just landed.
Yeah, it just landed before we started this.
That's right, yeah.
So partnerships has been a big focus this year, I think, for Glympse. And so I know myself, being an entrepreneur, partnerships is definitely something that's coveted but also hard to get. But I feel like you guys have done a really good job in getting partnerships. And so it'd be great to understand like your tips for success and how you kind of look for specific partners and what you've done to really capture and close on these partner deals.
Yeah, it's been a really, it's an area that doesn't get talked about a lot, but a lot of startups seem to have that question because you have to either go it alone or if partnerships are key. So I get quite a few phone calls and emails from folks going, well, how did you cut this deal or that deal? For us, so I think it's important to know who you are and what you're building. For us, we were building this location element that we knew made a lot of sense as a standalone app, but it would also have quite a bit of value if it could get integrated into other people's applications and use cases, and with folks that have a wide distribution. So we knew we wanted to, partnerships were going to be a heavy part of what we did. The problem with partnerships, especially if you look at the people that we want to partner with, like the people we have partnered with, handset manufacturers, carriers, auto manufacturers, navigation companies, these are all huge companies. And so the hard part is as a startup, here's you, and then here's the Fortune 100, 500 company you're trying to do deals with. And there's a lot of things that make that really difficult. You're different sizes, you operate at different speeds, you have different goals, you have different liabilities, you have different motivations. And so a lot of people will counsel you not to try to do business with some of those folks I just mentioned because there's just too big of an impedance mismatch between those two. We thought it was important enough that we needed to do that anyway. And so from early on, with Steve doing most of the technical stuff, even when we were building the app, he built it as a platform, right? Because we knew you would want an API and an interface for these partners to be able to see and use as we went to go talk to them. So we probably iterated slower on the application and did less on the application by paying this tax of having this generic platform that we knew would work well for us. So the partnerships have taken a long time to get through, but the nice thing about them is once you get them, then all of these difficulties become an asset to you, right? Because you're differentiated from all these other companies and you have this huge asset. So it's one of these things that the first deal is the hardest one, and then the second one's a little easier, and the third one's a little easier. And you'll see that in our kind of momentum, right? Our partnerships used to be 4, 5, 6 months apart, and if you go, I think we did the announcement with the Samsung watch maybe 2 months ago. and then 2 weeks ago an announcement with Verizon, and then today GoGo. So it's starting to accelerate now, and the deals are starting to become easier to do. So anyway, I think, am I rambling?
No, it's good. Good.
Perfect.
All right. I think you have to know going in that these guys are not going to think like you do, and you have to understand where they're coming from. So step one is some level of credibility, because one of the things is like, listen, I've got, I'm running a multi-billion-dollar company. I can't take a dependency on these guys in Seattle that have aspirations. And so you really have to make them feel comfortable that you get where they're coming from, that you're reliable, and that you can execute on what you say you're going to execute. So, if you talk, our first larger partnership was with Mercedes. And part of that came about because they had seen the app, they'd used the app, they saw the customer reviews on it, they knew it was stable, they knew people liked it, they knew there was a use case. And so it gave them at least a little bit of confidence that, okay, maybe we should maintain conversations with these guys. We then, when we started the conversations, we flew Steve down there to the Bay Area in California to meet with their R&D guys.
Palo Alto.
Yeah, down in Palo Alto, they have a great. And would you spend a day down there?
Yeah, just a day.
So we want you to talk about that and kind of how we came out of that.
Yeah, no, we prototyped the scenarios, did some integration work, and had a demo kind of up and running in a matter of days. And it went really well, and it was just positively received, and so we just moved forward. We had some executives at Mercedes that just loved it and said, "Let's make this happen," and then everything just moves quick after that. So
Was Mercedes your first partner?
They were the first one we went to market with, right? And this is a key element. We've talked with a lot of very, very large companies, and despite the best of intentions, like someone will say, "Yeah, this makes sense," and I want to do it, but it's not that they're smarter or dumber or faster or slower. The nature of the beast is they're more cautious, right? And so you need to find that kind of anomaly person who's in a big corporation but operates on a really fast level, right? Somebody who's a risk taker, who wants to push boundaries, who wants to break out of the norm. And if you don't have that person, I think if you go through all the partners, every partner we've launched with, I think I could tell you who that person is in that company that's kind of this outlier personality that's pushed us through. And the companies that we haven't done has been because they haven't been these outlier people.
And did it take, did you guys have to spend time finding that person, or was it?
No, in these companies there's 3 or 4 people and they all kind of have to agree on stuff. You'll know pretty quick if one of them falls into that category. So we were lucky enough at these companies to find that person and then push through. I mean, we had the same thing at BMW, we had the same thing at Verizon, we had the same thing at GoGo.
That's right. Yeah. And all these companies are starting, all these companies are making a shift that people know they have to speed up. Things are moving at a faster pace. Automotive, they've been relaxed for years and being able to do things at their own pace, but technology moves too fast. And so you're getting these guys in these groups that know that, the next few years are so critical and crucial for their business. You see it today in kind of the whole infotainment systems, how fast this market's moving right now. So there's guys out there that are looking, to latch on to the next big thing. So
yeah, that's a good point. I would say, because we've been through, we've talked to these guys for a while, the kind of carrot approach, because what we're doing with these folks isn't new to us, right? We always knew this would be a great application of Glympse. But this kind of, hey, wouldn't it be cool for you guys to lead the pack and innovate and do this, has not gotten, I think, the same motivation of, oh no, the world's changing underneath us, and if we don't act fast, we're going to be left behind. So, whether it's good or bad, I'm not saying, but it's there has been a change where people know they have to change or die now, and that's helped companies like us.
Yeah.
They know they're going to have to take risks and partner with startups that are innovative and fast. So anyway, so we got we had the original Mercedes piece, and that helps. And we talked to other folks that were a little slower moving that ended up shipping later, but that then helps. Like, okay, these guys are in production and it went well. It was well perceived by the press, by the consumers, by the kind of corporate initiative stuff, and that makes that second domino go a little bit faster.
I see. And then other partners would just want to follow suit and be in the mix as well.
Yeah, because if you look like our first, if you want to call it a deck, but when we talk to partners, it'd be like, hey, we've got cool technology, it'd be really cool. Here's what we could do with you. Okay, maybe not. That sounds risky. I don't know if I want to be your advocate. And then you do Mercedes, and you go, look, we did Mercedes. Look how well it worked. Here's the reference, maybe we should do something. And so you get a little bit less resistance. And now when we go in, we've got a pretty good, history of We did Mercedes, BMW, Ford, Garmin, Navigon, Evernote, Verizon, Samsung. Now we have a pretty good portfolio of happy, and I think it's really important. If you could go to any one of our partners now and say, that Glympse thing, did that work out for you? And were these guys, did they do what they thought they would? And they're all references for us. So now we don't fight that nearly as much as we used to. I mean, we're still a small company, but now we've got the wind at our backs a bit.
No, I agree. You've got great partnership deals coming down the line and being announced. So it's a great talk. Really appreciate it.
You bet.
Brian and Steve from Glympse, download the app.
Thanks.